I'm Matt Straq, this is That Sports Show, and the bosses Will and Rob have a panel at South by Southwest this year. Click on the link above my head and go and vote for them, would you? Now, on with the show. Today on That Sports Show, cross-dressing and excuses and tequila shots in Mexico. But first, alright, US Open season is on us and we've been following the coverage as closely as ever, which for us means clicking right past it on our way to drop another inflammatory comment on Skip Bayless's column. But on the way, this story in the Times caught our eye. It's a story about outside contender Canadian player Peter Polansky. He lost in the first round of the Open the other day, but for him just qualifying was an accomplishment, because in 2006, when he was a 17-year-old alternate on Canada's Davis Cup team, he crashed through a hotel room window in Mexico, slicing up his legs before falling 30 feet into some shrubbery. Now, normally an athlete going through plate glass wouldn't merit time on this show. We need at least Ron Mexico levels of comedy to get interested. But it's Polansky's explanation that really got us going this time. You see, he told his parents and reporters that he had dreamt that a man with a knife was coming to get him, and he sleepwalked his way out the window. Now, far be it from us to question the credibility of a 17-year-old in Mexico who's not even playing, but if memory serves, our college buddy Beershawn had the same dream that just so happened to occur during a 4th of July kegger. The way he tells it, he dozed off and was therefore completely blameless for peeing in the washing machine. But Polansky's creativity did inspire us to put together a show about the lamest excuses in sports. And if you're doing a show about lame excuses, you might as well start with baseball's steroid scandal. Poor old Roger Clemens. When he was confronted with evidence that he'd been using steroids and HGH, he had plenty of lame excuses, but our favorite was when he stated under oath that he didn't even know what it was Brian McNamee, admitted steroid dealer, was injecting him with. Sure, McNamee was shooting Clemens up twice daily, but Clemens was too busy to find out what was actually in those syringes. It must have been a coincidence that his numbers jumped late in his career, and that his back suddenly looked like risotto covered with marinara. Also, lots of guys' wives have strangely muscled forearms and receive regular injections of performance enhancers without their knowledge. Next up, friend of the show and nickel slot champion John Daly. Daly's been in the news for two things lately: cutting weight like an Olsen twin, and then blaming the weight loss for playing bad golf. Now, this is just the kind of publicity we need out there floating around. I can practically hear husbands in the South complaining that they'd like to cut back on the Mountain Dew and Mars bars, but they don't want to screw up their swing. Next up, we've got to diverge for just a sec from sports to talk about Eddie Murphy. It was in 1997 when Eddie jumped into the lame excuse Hall of Fame by telling the police officers that had pulled him over that he was just giving the transvestite prostitute he just picked up a ride home. He was in no way considering paying he/she for whatever services he/she provides to every other stranger whose car he/she climbs in. Just like when the TSS staff visits scores to see if anyone needs any dry cleaning picked up or anything. We're helpful, just like Eddie. Finally, what about when the opposite is true, when players come up with ridiculous excuses for winning? There are a million of those too: facial hair, unwashed undies, or special pregame meals. But Pedro Martinez took this to another level during the Sox World Series run when he started bringing this little guy to playoff games as his good luck charm. Check it out. We'll see you next time.
Personal good luck charm, a tiny little Spanish man.
After Friday's loss to the Yankees, Pedro brought Nelson to the clubhouse on Saturday. The Sox took 2 straight from New York, and Pedro dubbed Nelson the Sox lucky charm.
How do you feel about being the lucky charm of the Boston Red Sox?
Me siento mejor.